Hi, welcome to Mixified.
This video will show you how to deal with your teens who's suffering from depression. Please note that this video content is intended for educational and informational purposes only, and not meant to diagnose or treat any condition. Identifying and understanding the signs of depression is very important. Did you know that depression can occur in 3 different degrees? It can be identified as mild, moderate, and severe. In this video, we will be focusing on some of the symptoms and signs of severe depression.
Here are 6 signs of severe depression. Number 1, daily stomach pain. Do you wake up most days with a sinking feeling in your stomach? Is it painful, and does the pain make it difficult for you to function? Many conditions and illnesses can also cause this, but severe depression might be your culprit. According to Healthline, research has shown that depression has strong links to inflammation of the digestive system. Not only does this mean that severe depression makes you more prone to stomach cramps and nausea, but also to bloating and other digestive problems. If you can relate to this, we encourage you to seek the help of a medical professional to relieve your pain. Number 2, your life feels like it's on pause. Do you have a hard time getting things done throughout the day? Not just work, but also things like getting up to brush your teeth or to take a shower. Though some may perceive this as laziness, it might actually be a sign of severe depression. Healthline also explains that fatigue is a common sign of severe depression, and it can feel like no amount of sleep is ever enough for you to get your normal energy back. Your worth is not measured by how much you get done in a day or your productivity level. Even if all you had the energy for was to take out the trash and feed the dog, you're doing what you need at your own pace. Number 3, there is a growing apathy towards your goals. Are you someone who usually dreams big? Have those dreams recently seemed less appealing or more out of grasp? Apathy is a symptom of severe depression that is often overlooked because it can manifest as contentment. But when a nonchalant attitude becomes an indifference to goals that used to mean a lot to you, it may be something worth paying attention to, as it's a sign of severe depression. Number 4, mental breakdowns. Do you find yourself overreacting to things that would usually be only mildly annoying? Are you prone to mental breakdowns every now and again? According to the New Dimensions Day Treatment Center, a mental breakdown is a combination of severe depression and anxiety, and can manifest in a variety of ways. They might show up as panic attacks, rumination, helplessness, and much more. If you find yourself in the middle of a mental breakdown, remember that you aren't alone. Though it may feel insurmountable, know that help is available and that you are fully capable of getting through this. Number 5, noticeable behavioral symptoms. Have your friends told you that you don't seem yourself lately? One of the characteristics of severe depression is that many behavioral symptoms are noticeable by others. In fact, the symptoms themselves may be indicative of a milder form of depression, but the way it impacts your life could classify the depression as severe. Some of these symptoms could include fatigue, irritability, anger, substance abuse, reckless behavior, and more. However, like all of these signs, this is not a hard and fast rule. All experiences with depression are equally valid. And this is not to say that severity is solely dependent on the observations of people around you. Though no one may notice, you could still be suffering in silence with severe depression. And we don't want to take anything away from your experience. We just want to point out that severe depression is more likely to be noticeable than other forms. And number 6, hallucinations or delusions. Do you experience out-of-body experiences due to your depression, such as hallucinations or delusions? This is known as depressive psychosis and can, in some cases, result from major depression. Examples of this can be hallucinations, paranoia, or delusions that interfere with your everyday life. If you find yourself experiencing psychosis, know that help is available and that seeking help is encouraged because altered perceptions of reality could impact your well-being in harmful ways. Depression can affect anyone, regardless of their age, which means it can also affect children and adolescents. Statistics show that about 3% of children between the ages of 3 to 17 deal with depression. However, the percentage tends to be higher in children older than 13. In the US alone, an estimated 3.2 million children and adolescents have had at least one major depressive episode, and 31.9% have had an anxiety episode. The causes of childhood depression can vary, but some are family history, bullying, environment, or family problems, physical illness, or stress. Despite common perception, children do experience stress, which can invariably, if left untreated, cause depression. Unlike in adults, depression in children presents itself differently. Symptoms vary from irritability to low energy. If symptoms last longer than 2 weeks, it's best to reach out to a healthcare provider.
Before we continue, if you're new to my channel, please click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will be updated when I upload a new video.
Here are 8 signs that signal childhood depression. Number 1, severe moodiness. Though children are usually moody and feel lots of heavy emotions, severe highs and lows can be a signal of depression. For example, your child may seem all right one moment, but suddenly they break out into an emotional outburst the next. Though emotional outbursts usually have a trigger, like a broken toy, an emotional outburst without a defined trigger is a symptom of depression. They may be dealing with emotions that they don't know how to articulate, let alone cope with. Another sign of moodiness is irritability. They experience increased sensitivity and hence more bouts of irritability. This symptom can manifest itself through angry fights, increased emotional sensitivity, increased anxiety, or emotional numbness. If you notice these symptoms in your child, be compassionate and always willing to listen without judgment. Puberty is difficult enough without having to deal with mental health issues. Number 2, low energy. A hallmark symptom of depression is low energy. Your child may seem unwilling to do things or participate in daily tasks. They exhibit lethargy or extreme fatigue. Though this symptom is commonly interpreted as anemia, especially in children, it can also be depression. Depression represses many neurotransmitters, namely serotonin. Serotonin helps you sleep, but more importantly, serotonin helps you get REM sleep. Although your child may be going to bed every night, they may be having difficulty getting the restorative sleep they need. Though for us adults, sleep aids like melatonin or sleeping pills help, it's best to keep these substances away from children. Number 3, lack of interest in fun activities. Depression robs you of any joy or happiness. It sucks the color out of life, creating a now gray world in their eyes. If you notice that your child experiences a lack of interest, please talk to them. Let them know that you're willing to listen without judgment. If they're willing to speak to you, suggest help from children and young people's mental health service specialists. Number 4, change in eating habits. As a cause of lack of interest and poor sleep, children can also experience changes in their eating habits. Changes in eating and sleeping habits are telltale signs of depression, regardless of age. Feelings of worthlessness or hopelessness can affect eating and sleeping patterns, causing your child to either overeat or not eat at all. Food triggers chemical responses in the brain, hence altering emotions. For example, cars trigger a dopamine release, which allows your child to feel comforted whenever they eat a plate of pasta or sugary pastries. To help them cope with emotionally triggered changes in eating habits, introduce a healthier diet filled with nutrients and vitamins that can help them cope with depression better. Number 5, feelings of sadness or hopelessness. Depression is a mood disorder. It almost acts like the Death Eaters in Azkaban prison. Depression can drain you of all of your will and gumption. It can make a child feel hopeless and worthless. At times, it can instill feelings of guilt. Number 6, behavioral problems at school. As a result of the other symptoms, they can exhibit behavioral problems at school. This sign is more of an indirect byproduct of internal turmoil and general irritability. They may end up starting fights at school or be talking back. Behavioral problems, especially at school, can be inconvenient and irksome to deal with. However, if you suspect that their lashing out is connected to depression, try to be compassionate. They may be reluctant to talk about it, but let them know that you're willing and ready to listen to them when they're ready to talk. Number 7, decline in grades. Another result is a decline in their grades. A decline in their grades can happen gradually or immediately, but it's a sure sign that they've lost interest. Declined grades can also be a cry for help by subliminally letting others know that they feel emotionally overwhelmed. And number 8, social withdrawal. One of the last symptoms is social withdrawal. Extreme shyness can sometimes be a sign of depression, though that's not always the case. They may seem hesitant to make friends or lose connection with their current friends.
If so, please reach out to your child with compassion and understanding. Talk to them. If you notice these depressive symptoms, to let them know. that you are there for them to listen. Depression can manifest itself in many different ways. However, if you notice that your child or teen becomes increasingly focused on death, or prefers isolations, or starts giving away their precious possessions, or they are harming themselves, then these signs are especially concerning, because it indicates that they are thinking about suicides. Be gentle, but persistent. Don't give up if they shut you out at first. Talking about depression can be very tough for teens. Acknowledge their feelings. Don't try to talk your teen out of depression, even if their feelings or concerns appear silly or irrational to you. Focus on listening, not lecturing. Resist any urge to criticize or pass judgment once your teenager begins to talk. The important thing is that your child is communicating. Depression is very damaging when left untreated. So, don't wait and hope that worrisome symptoms will go away. If you suspect that your teen is depressed, bring up your concerns in a loving and non-judgmental way. If you do believe that you or any member of your family are suffering from severe depression or any mental illness, we encourage you to seek the help of a mental health professional.